should I begin?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time you may be watching, I want you to know that you are indeed greatly appreciated. I am Trey, one host of the Phase City Podcast, and this is the 4th episode of TraMatic. For anybody, which I know it's not many, but have been keeping up with TraMatic, you know it's been a while since I've sat down and do an episode. But in light of a recent event, I was definitely encouraged to sit down and take this time to share my personal viewpoints on the situation that I'm going to speak on today. As I thought about what I would call this episode, I decided that I wanted to call this episode Malicious versus Mistake. Okay? And what I'm about to express may potentially be an unpopular opinion. But I want you to understand that as I get into this, there's no lack of sympathy for anybody in this situation. It's actually empathy for everyone within this situation. And I think that it was important for me to sit down and take this time because of that factor alone. All right. So what I'm going to talk about is the recent event with Henry Ruggs, professional football player, formerly now of the Las Vegas Raiders, wide receiver. This past Tuesday morning, he was in a car accident, which ended up being fatal for the person whose vehicle that he struck, and killed while under the influence. Fatal and killed, same thing. Lost my train of thought for a minute. But the accident happened with him being under the influence. I seen somebody post, and they asked, do you feel sorry for Henry Ruggs? And as I went through the comments, naturally, many people said no, nah, hell no, fuck him, the wrong person died, and so many other comments, and there is no inability on my behalf to understand why people express those opinions on feeling sorry for Henry Ruggs, but I couldn't help to disagree. I do feel sorry for Henry Ruggs. This gentleman is 22 years old. This is his second year in the NFL. And the reality of this situation is this event was far more of a mistake than it had to do with being malicious, right? Personally, I know there have been a million nights where I have hung out with my friends, partied, turned up, drank, so on and so forth, and definitely got behind the wheel when I probably shouldn't have. And I know that there are many other cases where people have done the same thing. That's never the best decision or the right decision. But a lot of times when we are in that impaired state of mind, we fail to realize how it can really affect us, right? There's no part of me that feels like when Henry Ruggs got behind the wheel that night, no matter how much he'd been drinking or partying, that he thought the outcome would be running into the back of someone's car and killing him, right? The reports say he was going at speeds of 156 miles per hour at some point, which is irresponsible, right? But again, it's something that people do on a regular basis and never have the intention or expectation that the end result will be what it was. I personally feel sorry for Henry Ruggs strictly for the fact that this mistake that he's made has permanently changed his life. I'm sure that has ended his NFL career. He now has to live with the fact that he's taking somebody else's life, and it's like a lot of his hard work has gone in one bad decision. Of course, I naturally feel sorry for the young lady who lost her life, and feeling sorry for him or having sympathy for him doesn't mean I think that he should be excused for what he's done. But I do think that people need to take into consideration that regardless of, what level of stardom, fame, money that you have, we all still human beings, and we all liable to make a bad decision any day. There are many people who have gotten accidents under the influence, and some of them have been just them, and people show concern and compassion, but that situation is no different from his. It just happened to involve somebody else. So as we place our judgment on people for things that happen and the mistakes that they potentially make, regardless of what the outcome is, just keep in mind that we all do things that could have potentially resulted in a tragic ending. And the fact that it didn't doesn't make us any better than him. It's just more unfortunate that his bad decision resulted in the end of the life of somebody else. Not gonna hold y'all today, you feel me? But I definitely wanted to share that and get that off my mind. Very judgmental society, and it's a judgmental society that's also a society that's demanding openness to all these different choices. People make mistakes, and there's no telling what the severity of our mistakes may be. So let's just try to do a little better every day, be better influences on those around us, and most importantly, as always, be better to the world, so hopefully the world will be better to you. That's all I got for y'all today. If you don't already know, we have what it takes to make it through today, which means we can make it to tomorrow, and tomorrow will always turn to today. Therefore, there's no telling how far we can go. Today we rip.